Welcome back to Around the Clock. We have a committee chair with us today, Joel Arbeitman from the Town Forest Committee. Joel, thank you for being on the show.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I'm really glad to be here.
I'm here and you're here to talk first about the Town Forest and what the Town Forest Committee does, and if there's any news that you'd like to share.
Great.
Why don't you first talk about what the committee does?
Well, first I just want to say that we're a 4-member committee of town volunteers. The committee members are myself, Bill Moulton, who's also on the Conservation Commission, Kathy Rooney, and Dan Topliff, our newest member. And the committee is charged with basically overseeing the town forest, ensuring that the trails are kept open and clear. We try to improve the signage and navigation in the forest, and we field any complaints or concerns from residents, both within Ashland and beyond.
Okay. Do we have a lot of outside visitors coming to the Town Forest?
Well, we don't really do statistics on it, but my understanding is that we do. We are frequently contacted by organizations such as the Sudbury Valley Trustees, who ask us for maps or directions to parking areas or information about the forest and so on.
So now, the most recent project you did was the new parking facility. It was approved at town meeting.
Correct.
I know people have been wondering, is that project complete?
Yeah, we're very proud of it. We've gotten really great feedback. I want to describe it a little bit and tell people how they can find it. What we did, originally we had a very awkward parking facility off of Winter Street in Ashland. And what was awkward about it was kind of a U-shaped drive, and if one car parked on one side, it blocked that to get in and out. So what we were looking for is a more traditional rectangular lot area where people could park and where we could hold more cars. That's traditionally been a problem. Don't go to Ashland, there's no place to park.
Right.
And so within the last year or two, we began a large project to put in this parking area. And we sought funding from the town through the CPA fund that was approved at town meeting. And we designed a layout for this area. Our criteria, we had several criteria. One was we wanted sufficient parking. That was the most important. Secondly, we wanted to make a minimum impact both on the town forest itself and on the neighborhood. I mean, you know, it's important because we're right across the street from some residences, that we wanted to really minimize the impact and keep the visibility of the cars as low as possible. And so this lot was completed sometime over the past year, and it's just beautiful. I mean, you know, I tell you, as long as you take your coffee cup with you, it's a nice place to go sit in your car and have a cup of coffee in the morning. It really is beautiful there. I mean, it exceeded our wildest expectations. When we first talked about it, we laid out a large rectangle, and we said, okay, this looks like a good spot for it. We'll come in over here, we'll go out over there. And what we really, or at least I wasn't really able to envision, was what it was going to look like when it was finished.
Right.
Because it's not work that I do on any kind of regular basis. And it's just spectacular. What was left, as best we could, were the tallest pine trees surround the entire lot. And to sit there and just stand there and watch those trees swaying back in the wind, it's beautiful.
Nice.
You know?
Now, how big is the town forest?
The town forest is now, it's been growing a little bit here and a little bit there as we're able to annex new land that becomes available. But overall, it's in excess of 550 acres. And for a town the size of Ashland, we had a state forester come out. You know, there's very few of those guys in the state. And he was astounded. For a town the size of Ashland to preserve that large an area is very unusual. The town forest was originally gifted to the town by the very famous town father, Henry Warren. And I think that really makes a big difference when we get that kind of support from a local resident.
Good. And now there is something, CPA is coming before us, they're doing some work on the Oak Street project. There's some property on Oak Street that the town purchased, and the town forest butts up to it. And there's been conversation that we're going to carve some new trails into that. Can you give us any information on that project? Or
That is really not a formal discussion yet.
Oh,
I mean, you know,
okay.
we'll see. What the Town Forest Committee is working on, we do have some trail changes that we're looking at. you know, as part of installing the new parking lot, which is at the trailhead of the Red Trail.
Okay.
The two largest trails in the forest are the Red Trail and the White Trail. Those are
Okay.
the two longest. You know, each one has a different color. You know, there's about 5 different trails in there. The Red Trail has one little section on it that's somewhat steep. And a resident about a year ago came to us and said, you know, it's a little challenging, and when it's icy or snow covered, it can be too much for some people. So we, last fall, we haven't finished this yet, but we've mapped out a little spur that goes around the steep part. And we're also looking at another area on one of the other trails to move it further away from the water tower.
Okay.
So that that becomes less of an interface between hikers and the town. But as far as the Oak Street property goes, you know, that's something that we do have thoughts about annexing to the forest and exploring what would be the benefit of putting trails in there.
Right, right. Okay, so more discussion on that part.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for that information on the town forest. Last thing, if someone wants to go see the trails before they go to the town forest, where might they be able to go see those? What's the website?
The best website is the town's website.
Okay, good.
ashlandmass.com. We should know this, but I believe it's ashlandopen.space.org, but I'm not sure of the exact
Okay.
URL for the
So if they go to
Open Space
Ashland,
Committee.
if they go to ashlandmass.com, they can find it from there.
Yes, they can.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully the snow will be melting soon and we'll be able to get more people out there and enjoying it.
I just wanted to mention 2 other projects very
Sure.
quickly that we did. One project that we felt was very important, because we have had people get lost in the woods at night, and it can be a dangerous, you know, especially in this kind of climate, obviously,
Right.
it's a dangerous thing. We have people out there snowshoeing and cross-country skiing and such, is that we have marked a numbered trail system. All around, all the trails are now
Right.
numbered, and it's, you probably couldn't go more than 100 or 200 yards without seeing a numbered sign on the
good.
trail. So if you were to get lost and called 911, at least they would have a way of identifying where you're located, where you are. So that project has been finished, really. It's in great shape now. And then the other thing I just want to point out, and I think this is important for all residents to understand how valuable this has been to us, is that we had a project with the Boy Scouts last year. Actually, my next door neighbor, Justin Mayer,
Yep.
was working on getting an Eagle Scout certification from the Boy Scouts, and he did a great project where 2 of the bridges that go over these little streams in the woods were really rotting out and becoming unsafe. And he got a team of Boy Scouts together and his friends and managed the group, got all the materials donated from the local lumber yards, and was able to really repair those bridges, and they're in great shape now. It's like, they're like brand new bridges, so
Is
it's
that
great
one of
to
the
see.
ones that goes through a tree?
No.
Is that one of the ones
It
they
isn't,
fixed?
but it's,
Oh, okay.
it's near there, but it's not, that's different.
Okay, good. Well, Joel, thanks for that update on the Town Forest Committee. Stay with us, and we're going to be back with Joel, but talking about the Upper Charles Rail Trail. We'll be right back.